Take your team, fly in, assess the situation, and report back. Find out what happened to those men. Just us, sir. I asked, and the question felt small. A cold stone of a thing had settled low in my gut. A 5-man team for 68 ghosts. You're fast and you're discreet. If we send in a battalion, it will become an international incident. We need eyes on the ground before we kick the hornet's nest. Find out what we're dealing with. He looked from my face to the faces of the others, as a man might look at his tools before a hard job. You're the best I've got. Get it done. The Black Hawk was a vessel of noise and bad nerves. We flew low, and we flew fast, and the hide of the country below was a ruined and cast-off thing, a brown cloth crumpled in God's fist. Then the mountains rose to meet us. When the outpost came into the view, it was as the drone had shown it. Abandoned. A ghost town made of sand and wire. The pilot set us down 50 meters out, and the wash from the rotors raised up a blinding country of dust. The moment the engine spooled into silence, a new silence came for us. There were no generators humming, no talk from distant men, not even the small life of insects. Only the thin and sorrowful cry of the wind as it passed through the coils of razor wire like a paid mourner. All right, Wallace. You're on point, I said into that quiet. Rico, you've got our 6. Deacon, find some high ground. Doc, stick with me. We moved in the manner of men who hunt what hunts them, our rifles sweeping the dead air. The gate to the compound stood open like a mouth that had forgotten what it meant to close. Inside, we found a war in miniature left unfinished on a crate. A Humvee with its hood raised to the sky like a supplicant, and beside it on a tarp were its own steel guts laid out with a terrible neatness. In the mess tent, a plate of food sat petrified upon a table, the bodies of flies entombed in the hardened blood of a ketchup bottle. No blood. No brass, Rico's voice said in the comms. They didn't even get a shot off. Then came Deacon, his voice a ghost from a higher place. Got a perch on the south watchtower, Sergeant. I see. Nothing. No tracks leading out. It's like they just evaporated. We went through the barracks tent by tent, parting the canvas flaps of these tombs. And each one was the same. The cots were made with a crisp and meaningless order. There were photos of women and children taped to the footlockers, small paper talismans that had failed. There were books with their spines broken on the nightstands. This was not the work of men who had fled. You do not leave the picture of your little girl. This was an erasure. This was a thing worse. There was a taste upon the air. It was a strange and coppery thing that carried with it a faint and sickly sweetness. The taste of shed blood, but beneath it something else. Something feral. Sarge, you gotta see this, Doc Miller called from behind the comms tent. We found him on his knees beside a great steel shipping container. And there was the first sermon of the violence.